Encore une fois, bonsoir tout le monde et bienvenue sur DjMax and Friends Black on White Uncensored. Jeudi, on a recevoir Madame Pauline Louis-Magiste, qui c'est un RN et aussi un nurse educator, mais en plus, lycée président Haitian American Nursing Association of Florida, que nous connaissons sous nom HANA. Nabdi Pauline, bonsoir et bienvenue. D'abord, merci pour recevoir l'invitation aujourd'hui dimanche là.
Bonsoir Max et merci pour l'invitation.
Alors, Pauline, première question que nous posons, que l'anti-conversation ça que nous fait, hein, nous connaissons que chaque jour, il y a des updates sur quantité de monde qui est infecté par virus, ça, pandémie, ça, coronavirus, COVID-19. Non? Et je dis, as of yesterday, 11:21, 12:16 p.m., chiffre aux États-Unis, c'était 11 millions 843 490 personnes qui étaient infectées. Et là, en Floride, côté nous vivons là, nous avons 932 000 personnes qui sont infectées, qui mettent à 8 409 personnes en plus pour journée hier là. Alors, ou même en tant que président Haitian American Nursing Association, là, how concerned are you with those numbers et qui recommandations que tu as gagnées pour la communauté noire?
Ok, merci Max encore pour l'invitation. The concern, I think it should be everybody, c'est nous tous qui peut concerner de numéros yo cap monter encore, because nous te font descendre et nous retourner à monter l'hôpital et surtout grand l'hôpital yo, et patients are coming back. They're starting to see more inpatient admissions for COVID. Et par exemple, l'hôpital qui moi travaille part-time, et les numéros étaient hauts. It was peak. We had over 3 units with COVID patients and 2 ICUs with COVID patients. And it went down to just 1 unit in 1 ICU with just maybe 4 patients. And now, again, as of last week, they had to reopen another unit because of the increase of patients that are coming in. So, comme yon membre de communauté, comme yon infirmière, and comme président association HANA, it's very concerning because c'est un health issue, c'est une crise de santé qui est liée et qui commence depuis le mois de février avec premier cas, and then men nou nan mois de novembre, Thanksgiving kap vini semen nan, and nous still na crisis. So it is a big concern. C'est un gros concern.
OK, mais maintenant, nous avons à peu près, enfin pas à peu près, selon jusqu'à yesterday, nous avons 17 929 personnes qui mourent, ça mettait à 41 personnes en plus qui malheureusement perdu la vie là. Et là, en Floride encore, nous avons 3 753 personnes qui mourent et ça fait 7 personnes en plus qui mourent as of yesterday. Maintenant, Dieu merci, nous avons un vaccin que annoncé là, que très bientôt, yo présente des vaccins qui paraît et très bientôt nous allons avoir un vaccin available et vaccin ça c'est un espoir mais un espoir qui ont paquet controversie qui entoure lui un paquet conspiracy terroriste ou même qui parlait avec collègues ou la conversation qu'on a avec collègues est-ce que dire qui gens que communauté médicale là qui gens yo garder information ça et qui position que on prend sur toute information ça que nous recevons.
Well, it's a mix. C'est un mix concern que mon yo gagne. And you dis un bail qui est très important. There's a lot of conspiracy theories. Et ou gen gros monde qui fait conspiracy theories. And then chaque monde gagne conviction pa yo. Ou pas qu'à changer conviction monde, whatever they believe, that is what they believe in. And vaccine, depuis bien longtemps, nous connaissons un gros concern. Surtout pour nous-mêmes dans la communauté noire. If you know the history of, health avec la communauté noire en Amérique, vous connaissez pas une belle histoire liée. Il y a un pile expériment qui était fait sur noir, qui était cause un pile, crisis. So because of that, there's a huge conspiracy theory with the vaccine, où toute vidéo que mon y a poussé. And even avec maladie, But comme yon infirmière qui travaille dans l'hôpital, qui ouais moun qui vient à l'hôpital, qui malade avec elle, en pile, tant que maman connaît HANA, c'est infirmière, nous toutes c'est infirmières, nous toutes parler l'un avec l'autre, de ça nous ouais, de cas que nous ouais cap venir avec maladie. Nous connaissons que coronavirus et SARS tout que nous relève dans branche médicale là, c'est pas la première fois. Nous avons eu SARS before, nous avons eu MERS before, but c'est la première fois qu'elle est venue, dans la façon qu'elle est venue, and leads you, cause so much debt. You had over 250,000 in the United States alone of debt. That's a lot. So with the vaccine, yes, c'est un espoir pour un pile monde. But gen apil moun kom ou di, a cause de conspiracy theory ki gen lot pense de vaccine nan.
Mais ou même personnellement, on dit que vous choisi parce que vous pas obligé de prendre une décision pour déterminer qui est-ce que vous pouvez vacciner avant. Il y a une pile possibilité que quand pile parole qui dit que vous avez choisi the frontliners first, mon not first defense ou bien vous avez choisi de mon qui qui a pu affecter, c'est-à-dire de elderlies, avec beaucoup de décisions. But let's assume que vous choisi frontliners pour ces premiers monde qui reçoivent le vaccin. Nous connaissons que le vaccin en général, il prend des années pour étudier, analyser, pour research, pour venir avec un vaccin. Nous, we are so grateful because this is a very high a concern for everyone around the world. Et nous grateful que yo ka vraiment vini avec un vaccin, mais yo pas gagné assez expérience, yo testé 5 monde. I mean, this is not enough to determine exactly est-ce que li really safe, si pas gagné aucun autre problème que le cause. Would you take it if they were to choose the frontliners to be the first to get vaccinated with the COVID-19 vaccine?
Well, it is most likely that they will choose the frontliners, which are the nurses, the hospital workers, the healthcare workers, and of course, like you said, moun that are more vulnerable, qui c'est elderly, moun à l'âge, moun qui gain comorbidities, maladies tankou diabetes, hypertension, and heart disease. It's a choice. It's a choice. Being in the medical field and being an educator, knowing what I know as far as research and the time that it takes for research to be conducted and to be effective, it is a choice that most people will have to take on their own. For me personally, I'm still torn in between. Will it be mandated for healthcare providers? It probably will be mandated for healthcare providers, just like the flu vaccine. And most institution is mandated. The flu shot during flu season, gen moun ki refize, sa se chwa pa yo, and gen moun ki pon. Yes, gen apil, from the previous questions, there's lots of doubts, the rush for this vaccine. But for comprendre tout raison, le ou gen yon maladie tankou COVID or SARS-2, COVID SARS-2, that kill over 1 million people worldwide. Now, have we ever heard this before in the 21st century? No, this is not something that has happened in the 21st or 20th century. But if you go back to the 1900s, yes, Spanish flu, yes, that was the 1900s. They had gain research ke nou genyen, ou genyen scientists around the world ka fè research. Se pa sel yon group moun selman ka fè research la, but genyen around the world, because when you review what's going on with COVID, ou genyon affaire de 191 pays le monde entier qui gen moun ki mouri ou ki affecté avec COVID. And around the world, around the world, over 1 million people dead. So there is un sens de urgence yo sorti avec vaccine nan, and ou gen the major company who have made this just their primary focus. And I say that because le yo sap sorti avec yon remède, yo gen yon group moun pou just fè etude sa, and then yo gen moun ka fè lot travay. But à cause de COVID, yo vin gen pile qui pon pli, si an nou mette par exemple, si yo te kon pon 5 scientists pour faire yon research, mais COVID kon ya yo vin augmenter the number of scientists that are doing the research. So to me, it is a personal choice. It's because of the controversy, it is up to the person. C'est moun nan pou chwazi. Si yo vle pou an vaksin nan, moi m'te toujours dit, I will wait for the second round. If I have to, I will avoid the first round and wait for the second round and to see. Yeah, when you have something that you're going to give to over 7 billion people and you only have a sample of 500 people, 300 people that receive it, yeah, that is a concern. That is a concern to say, does it really work? And knowing that the little bit, I'm not a scientist, I am far from it. I'm not even a medical doctor. I am a registered nurse who studied nursing, and I am proud to be a nurse too. But what I've learned as a nurse, we know that anything that you're doing, there are consequences, there are risks, but we also learn ethically that the benefits must outweigh the risks in order for it to become useful, I should say, or given to humans. I also know in research, you sample everyone, ethnicity, age group, background, race, all of that takes into accountability because jan li affecte, whether you're female or male, li pa affecte ou kon sa. So by yon blanc, yon moun blanc, Caucasian, ou by yon Asian, it might not affect them the same way. And that's what we know about research. That's what I know, the little that I know about research. So it is a concern, and I think it is a choice. C'est yon choix. If you have the choice, you want to, go right ahead. And if you don't want to, that's on you too. But then it's a risk that you take because it's not a cure, it's a preventive measure to prevent you from getting, just like we do things to prevent us from getting it now, which is the social distancing, wearing the mask, sanitizing, and so on and so forth. So me personally, to answer your question, I'm going to wait a while and see what really happened. Unless it's mandatory for my job, then I have no choice because I got to feed my kids.
I understand that, and I really appreciate your honesty answering that question, which for some people may be a little bit difficult choice to do. Et moi-même, personnellement, même parler avec deux, trois moun qui fait me venir avec question ça, parce que m'gen moun qui dit personnellement, they'll be the last in line to do so. Et m'ka comprendre ni parce que en général knowledge que nous gain sur research spécialement pour que vaccine son bagage qui prend pile temps et j'en sont élaboré là gain en pile étude en pile analyse qui t'a supposé fait que le temps pas permettre que fait il croit que c'est worldwide que tous les scientists mettent ensemble pour chercher résultats and don't get me wrong, we very grateful que you arrivé joindre nos résultats mais ne pas penser que en pile analyse est suffisamment de analyse faite sur lui. Mais maintenant m'a dit bagay en tant que haïtien, nous c'est haïtien, donc nous avons expérience différente que l'autre monde peut-être pas fait. Les m'a regarder en Haïti résultat Covid là, attitude moun yo, gen moun qui même dit que pas gen coronavirus en Haïti, ça pas existé. Et ceci c'est grâce et gen des moun tout qui kon yo pas gen corona non, c'est juste la fièvre que te gen, yo découvre tous les symptômes corona yo, but yo refusé admettre que yo refusé le corona.
Right.
Mais grâce à ti remettre feuille, yo arrivé diminuer à effet que Corona vraiment gens que la passe ici à l'étranger à travers le monde en Haïti il est arrivé grâce à whatever genre là qui protège nous parce que nous déjà connaissons la situation que nous en Haïti maintenant virus là vaccin si j'en dis si il pas mandatory est-ce qu'on pensait que nous-mêmes en tant qu'haïtiens nous t'a gain un remedy une solution pour ta au lieu de que nous prendre vaccin que nous t'a kembe la tirer de feuille nous pour nous Kimbela?
So again, remettre fait, Jean dit, c'est yon bagay nou men nou gen nan culture nou. Et anything that you're taking is tout logon virus kon sa because yon virus c'est pon bay you can kill immediately. is something that depuis l'entrée dans corps, whatever system in your body it's attacking, it's going to attack that system. Now, remède fait tité que nous bois, moi remède tité gingembre moi, l'autre tité encore, li diminue symptoms yo. Li diminue symptoms yo, mais ça pas veut dire que it kills the virus. So, whatever you need to do to keep yourself healthy. Now, if drinking the tea with gingembre avec citron, whatever it is that women, la loi, whatever it is going to boost your immune system. But when one of the things that we do in nursing, we tell people to be very cautious to lower medicament, pharmaceutical medication, because pile fois the herbs, les feuilles, thé, whatever que nous boire, li affecte médicament que wa boire. Ça ca cause médicament pas not be therapeutic, pas faire ça supposé faire. So, pour ta di que bay moun conseil pour yo continuer boire tite fe yo, that's not something that I can do as a healthcare professional because fe yo too, there's one qui est toxicity, lo vin boire trop, living, I guess, accumulate in your system, accumulate in your liver because nous connaissons un pile bagay toxics in our liver, in our foie, no, que li metabolize, après pour aller dans rein, our kidneys to be removed out of our body. And when these levels accumulate, they can cause other issues to happen. So occasionally, yes, ou ka boire tite seguido, but ça pas veut dire que c'est un cure or c'est un official treatment for it. Mentionné Haiti, yes, I say all the time, we are blessed that COVID did not attack Haiti the way it is attacking the United States, because being someone who have that's in the community and have seen what can happen in Haiti when there is a devastation or a disaster, it is a blessing that mon Haiti pas affecté. Est-ce que gen moun qui gen COVID la Haiti? Sure. Gen famille qui gen papa qui te admit l'hôpital with COVID, tested positive, fait combien jour l'hôpital, and he's doing better, and he's back in Miami, and you can still see the effects of post-COVID. L'on parle avec lui toujours souffle, en l'air. So yeah, I guess to say that it's a blessing, c'est une grâce que bon Dieu fait à Haïti, nous me dit ça.
Maintenant, avec holidays, yo, fête fin d'année, nous avons Thanksgiving l'autre semaine là, nous avons toutes holidays qui
semaine ça, je dis à
ouais,
dimanche.
actually, semaine ça, et nous avons flu season that's right around the corner. Qui advise qu'on a gagné pour communauté? Parce que nous regardons, nous comparé CDC qui m'a des gens pour ne pas voyager, que pas faire aucun plan pour Thanksgiving, parce que nous connaissons en général Thanksgiving, c'est une opportunité que toute famille réunie, c'est le ça que nous réellement, gagner des gens, c'est une seule fois par année qu'on a une chance pour planifier pour la famille, etc. Maintenant, qui advise qu'on même ou t'as gagné pour communauté à captain de nous là, regarding the situation of COVID avec with infection rate like monté et flu season qui right around the corner?
Well, the advice that I can give the community is to follow the CDC guidelines. So the other Thanksgiving cap vini envoyé, c'est un jour de famille, un jour to give thanks. Jondia, c'est laisser un pile monde qui sorti dans l'autre état, qui a sorti dans l'autre pays pour venir célébrer avec famille. C'est un bel jour pour nous. Même moi-même, la famille PAM, it's like the one day of the year, well, twice, because it's Thanksgiving and Christmas, that we see certain family members. Même si yo là, yo ki là, si tout petit moun yo, that's away in college. The concern with the CDC is you should do small gatherings. You have no more than 10 people, pas plus que 10 moun. Hier, nous tenons la radio, nous avons parlé de ça, et avec Cause Santé Wad HANA, que nous faisons chaque samedi matin. Et nous disons, dans la famille, pas seulement, dans la caille moi seulement, nous avons déjà 6 la caille moi. So, please. et l'autre, so that wouldn't be enough. But you have to take precaution. For point percussion. I think the reason why the numbers are going up again and the numbers are up is because we became lax. We became very relaxed and we saw, oh, okay, the numbers are going down. The numbers went down because we followed the instructions and the precautionary measures that were put out by the CDC and the health expert. Now that we are moving away from those advice and numbers are going up. You mentioned the flu season. Yes, we are in flu season. Flu season isn't coming. We are already in flu season, but it usually peaks between, December, January, and February. But we are currently in the season. This year, we see more people getting the flu season because the symptoms of the flu is similar to that of COVID. So a lot of people are concerned if they have the flu, do they have COVID? So you see more people are getting the flu vaccine to protect themselves. So the advice, conseil que m'capable ba communauté, si nous connaît, parce que m'connaît peuple noir, c'est tout peuple haïtien, yo pas côté, pour yo faire ti fête yo, pour yo faire gathering yo, gen moun ki gen ta préparé te ki yo depuis week-end là. You know advice que m'capable ba, si you have to have a gathering, fel dehors. So go grand la cour, fel dehors. Why? Because you're outside in the open air. Make sure moun ki vini yo mette masque and sel le ap manje yo ka retirel and not be too close to each other. If you can, you have as distancing as possible. Tant que sou gon famille, mette membre de famille sa yo ensemble. I know it's going to be difficult. La très difficile pour nous faire ça, but wap calcule tant qu'on m'a m'sot appli yon article kote te gon mariage. Bel mariage nan Marcus venue, so konen se mariage bel l'argent. So mariage a te fait 2 semaines de ça. So far there's 22 people qui te attend the wedding who's positive for COVID. So
wow.
Yes, and that's just to start. They don't know if there's more. So they call that a super spreader event. A super spreader logo a fait des 100 moun, 150 moun ensemble yon sel côté qu'on y a la contact tracing. Moun sa pour COVID là nan wedding nan, li retourne back travail, so qu'on y a la tout moun nan travail li vin at risk, tout moun qu'elle rencontre vin at risk, famille vin at risk. So yon sel green moun nan ka bay même 10 lot moun encore. It transmitted by this lot one. So that's like contact tracing, we call that. So there's a lot of issues, and I know people want to celebrate. I want to celebrate. I want to see my cousins. I want to see my brother. I want to see my sister. I want to be able to hug them because ma konde ki le m'embrasser yon membre nan famille. But moi connais tout, and yo connais tout que gen yon risque de yo que c'est COVID-19 coronavirus. So taking the necessary precautions, social distancing. If you don't have to, don't do it. Tant qu'on y aime de parler avec Etisem, on a calculé what can we do. So, the idea we come up with, nous still faire manger, but manger à la caille, no. If my family have been pour manger, and then later in the evening, we will eat together by Zoom. That's the beauty of virtual connection. Again, Zoom, Google, Google Go. There's different, social or virtual applications people can use to connect with family.
Well, nous connaissons définitivement coronavirus a impacté vie sociale nous. Mais quand l'autre bas m'tawalju que avec avec situation ça, est-ce que kounya là nous capable penser à aller dans vie normale parce que couvre le coupable résultat ça réellement alarmant. Il y a des gens qui pas même penser à la réalité. Sincèrement, moi-même, il y a des fois, je descends de machine, je vais rentrer au magasin, je oublié mettre masque. C'est tourner la machine, venir prendre, venir mettre. Est-ce que vaccin ça, il peut aider les gens vraiment à pas de maladie ou bien c'est réellement basique yo mettez masque prendre distance c'est yo même capable protéger contre virus ça.
Now, nous connaissons l'histoire vaccin est créé pour protéger nous de certaines maladies. For example, comment on dit ça? Like in the United States, it is recommended kids to have vaccine. Now, get des parents, because you have that choice, that doesn't give their kids vaccine. I can speak like when my kids were little, I went to my pediatrician's office. They had two sections for the young kids that were vaccinated and kids that were not vaccinated. If you can remember, about 3 years ago, there was a measles outbreak. I don't know how to say measles in Creole, but there was a measles outbreak in the United States, which was kind of unheard for because we have the measles vaccine that caused the disease of the measles and the rest of the disease that falls under that category to be eradicated. So, and these were kids that were not vaccinated that got the measles, and they were able to give to other kids that did not receive the vaccine. So, and there was an epidemic of measles about 2 3 years ago in the United States, in some areas more. I think in the state of Florida, we had about 9 cases. So the vaccine prevents you from getting the disease. So what they do is it creates what we call antibodies, and those antibodies becomes your defense. If you do get in contact with somebody who has the virus, and if you've been vaccinating, if the virus happens to enter your body, the antibodies recognize that, oh, this doesn't belong. So they destroy it so you don't end up getting sick with it. There are consequences, there are side effects, yes, and I think that's what we're all afraid of. But in the meantime, j'en dis à continuer à mettre masque là. Because nous déjà connaissons que c'est your airborne disease qui est lié, and by inhaling it through your nose or your mouth or anything that can cause an entrance to your body, you can be infected with the virus. And is mask proven to be effective? Yes. Is social distancing proven to be effective? Yes. And I think if people continue to practice those precautions, continue to sanitize your hand, wash your hands when necessary. Sanitize. Donc, moi, I'm going to put a sanitizer in my car. Whenever I step out, when I come back in, I sanitize my hand. Before I get out of my car, when I get home, I sanitize my hand and I wash my hands. So using the necessary precautions, it has been proven. If mask doesn't work, we wouldn't have any doctors or any nurses, because the ones who are taking care of the patients would also be dead if they weren't protecting themselves.
Maintenant, sous connaissance ou avec expérience sur la ligne, ça, comment comprendre monde qui gagne après vient tester positif, mais il y a un virus là, mais il ça est asymptomatique. Il pas même connaît, il pas aucun symptôme qui présenté et pourtant il y a un virus là. Alors, c'est ça qui fait le plus dangereux comme supposé parce que monde n'a rien ni pas même connaît. Donc qui ça on monde t'a supposé faire là? Est-ce que tout le monde basically sous ou même qui medical field là, est-ce que tu as recommandé tout le monde pour prendre test là?
I do recommend that you get tested at least once. I think it's necessary. Tesla lila, son bagay ki fou, pa paye pou li. You can go, you don't need to go to a private doctor to get tested. The testing centers are still open. The state department, the health department, mwen do recommend, si son moun ou nan public, nan travay ou nan soti, il n'y a pas un problème pour aller faire test là. Pas besoin de tant c'est l'homme malade pour aller faire test là. It's good to have the test and to know just to keep yourself protected, to keep yourself safe. I, I don't want to say this, and I'm saying this as a healthcare provider. You have people that get tested for HIV. Why do they go and get tested for HIV? Because they know that if they are having unprotected sex, there's a chance of them getting HIV, so they get HIV. Not to compare HIV with the COVID, but I think the testing is similar. If you know that you are in contact with people, I can use myself for an example. I'm a teacher. I'm a nurse educator. I'm a nursing instructor at a university. I teach nursing student, first and second year nursing student. School reopened. The students came back on campus. I had a student that tested positive. So in the school, I'm positive. So of course she had to stay away in quarantine. I chose to go get tested myself. And still, even after I got tested, I chose to stay home and teach from home until the incubation period, which is 2 to 14 days before you start developing symptoms. Usually, if you don't develop any symptoms within that 2 to 14 days, they are 14 jours que vous pas symptômes, ça veut dire pas virus là. So testing, yes, is necessary, and I think it's important, and I do encourage. I think everybody should go and get tested.
Now, not to be paranoid, but key recommendation qu'on t'a fait. Moi-même, par exemple, j'ai eu un coronavirus and I was tested positive.
Sorry.
A month, that's okay. Thank you. A month later, I was tested negative. So I was fortunate parce que moi, c'est une monde qui est high risk group yo. So fortunately, I'm pas gain trop complications and I go out of it avec tité moi grâce à Dieu, mon petit bail comme ça. Maintenant, recently, I had to do a procedure and I tested again. It was negative. Now, yesterday, I went somewhere where was the free testing. You offre mon blood test and I denied it parce que je connais que moi immune pour at least, m'a dit at least parce que nous réellement pas connaît. Moi j'ai tout at least 2 mois que immune although que last week m'était déjà connaît mon blood test là, moi était négatif. Maintenant, not to be paranoid as a medical expert qu'on en file là au travail. How often côté ka recommander au monde puisque test est gratuit, mais how often should they take the test to be in the safe side?
I don't think if you are a person that is not high risk, you're not I guess, in a situation where you are possibly going to be in contact with somebody, you're following the necessary precautions for COVID, that is wearing your mask, practicing social distancing as much as possible, not being in large areas with large crowds and large people. And even if you are in an area with lots of people and large crowd, you try to distance yourself as much as possible. If you take those necessary precautions, unless it is necessary for you to have the test, I don't think someone should be having the test as often as, every month or so. I don't think so, unless it's required by the institution where you work, your place of work. I'm not sure specifically if there's a time frame that is recommended for people, the general public, to get tested, especially if you are protecting yourself, following the guidelines of safety, the safety guidelines that are in place. I don't think it's necessary for you to get tested like every other week or once a month.
Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about HANA since we know you're the president of the Haitian American Nursing Association, to be on a positive note, if I can say. Nous connaissons que HANA fait élection chaque 2 ans et président est élu pour un terme de 2 ans. Automatiquement que nouveau président vini, il y a un agenda que il créé côté que il y a des bagailles que il veut faire et il veut accomplir pendant 2 ans ça. Et nous connaissons tout que automatiquement ça fait, nous avons un calendrier que nous créons côté que nous dit que telle date, tel mois, mais ça fait pendant 2 ans à venir. Avec Covid là qui gâté, bouleversé tout calendrier que monde a gagné, tout projet que monde a gagné. qui gens ou dégage avec agenda là, qui sont arrivés fait pour manage, qui sont fait pour que malgré les vents et marées, problèmes que Covid l'a créé, qui sont dégagés pour Kembe avec projet qu'on gagne pour 2 ans là.
Yes, thank you. That's a great question. Yeah, Jean Dia, que le président HANA, you're elected by the members to be president, and your term is 2 years, unless the person wants to go for a second term, which is so the 2 years, like you said, you have goals and objectives that you set for your presidency to continue the legacy. And I said it is a legacy. It is a legacy that was created by those two nurses 36 years ago. Hannah is one of the oldest Haitian American professional organization. Probably well, I shouldn't say we're not the only nursing organization, but we are the most known and the most visible nursing organization there is, especially here in Miami. Hannah is not just in Florida. Well, in Florida, we have 3 other chapters. We have a sister chapter in Palm Beach because, it's hard for the people that live in Palm Beach to drive to Miami when we're having activities. We have a chapter in Tampa and in Orlando. And nationally, we have a chapter in Georgia. We have a chapter in Maryland, Chicago, 2 chapters in New York, which is Greater New York and Hudson Valley, New York. Well, not Chicago, but Illinois. And I did say Maryland. So it's about 11 chapters nationally. So for me personally, yes, COVID put a damper on my agenda as president. It did, but at the same time, I am so grateful because I have some phenomenal members. I cannot take the credit as president. Of course, my executive board and the members, the past presidents of HANA, we are a team and we work together as a team. And these are a group of people who believe in the mission and vision of HANA that was created 36 years ago. So we made it happen. For me, I can say I have accomplished about 80% of the things that I wanted to accomplish. And I'm thankful for social media. I'm thankful for virtual applications such as Zoom, WebEx, even StreamYard that allow me to connect still with the general public and keep our members engaged. I'll give you an example. We have the gala every year, and because you have
Of course.
participated in the gala as the DJ and the engineer behind the scene person before in the past. So of course our gala this year was canceled because of COVID. Unfortunately, and it doesn't look like we're going to have one in 2021 unless things change between now and January. So in this year, 2020 was deemed the year of the nurse and the nurse midwife. So this is supposed to be our celebration year, 200 years of Florence Nightingale birth year. So the World Health Organization, the International Nurses Association, along with the American Nurses Association, deemed 2020 the year of the nurse. But unbeknownst to us, we didn't know the year of the nurse, meaning that COVID was going to make the world see what the value and the importance of nurse. This is supposed to be a year of celebration. So we had a beautiful gala planned to celebrate our nurses. So we had to cancel that. So we said, okay, we have to do something. We have to do something, all the other leaders, and we have to do something to show our nurses how much we value and appreciate them because of what was going on in healthcare and for us nurses with COVID. And we also said the students are still going to school, even though they cannot be on campus, but they're still going to school, which means that they still have to pay tuition. So we have to give out the scholarship. We give 10 scholarships, sometimes up to 15 scholarships to nursing students every year. And some students had already filled out their application from October 2019. We're like, we have to give them the money. We have to do. So we strategize using Zoom. We planned the celebration. and we did it ourselves. You know, we didn't have any special technology except for me. I was the Zoom person along with my daughter. So if you see the celebration, I was the one behind all the technical stuff. So we planned and we strategized, and we were able to give 10 scholarships. And I think when HANA did that, the community was like, wow, you know, they were able to do this during COVID. So you see others follow what HANA did, and using the virtual application of Zoom, we were able to still have the celebration. And we had some amazing people that contributed money. We had some amazing musicians that when I called on them and we're like, we're having this celebration, we don't have money to give you because the gala is our biggest fundraiser. This is how we raise money in order to sustain the things that we do in the association every year, which is the missions. Are you aware of the medical missions that we go through, all the community events that we do? So through social media, we're still engaged. We've done one of the things that, like for example, one of my goals was for us to be more visible. So using social media, we have Cause Santé via Facebook Live, which was so well received. We are back on the radio again, and I'm excited about that because that was one of my goals, to bring back Cause Santé on the radio and on TV, which we're going to start with Island TV to bring Cause Santé back on TV. So I think I've accomplished. I'm happy with what I've accomplished as president of HANA. The members are engaged. I make the leaders proud. I think that's even more important. The people who came before me, that created that step for me to step up. And I'm sure there's more that I could have done, but we all know why. And like, for example, even 2 Saturdays ago, we had, because we were planning a drive-by book bag giveaway, because we had an organization that donated some supplies, and we had to cancel it because it was going to be in June, because that's when the numbers pick up again. So this 2 Saturdays ago, we did it in collaboration with another organization called Pearls of Life Women Foundation. They were doing a turkey drive, and the president is a member of HANA, so we decided to collaborate with her, and we gave away the bags. And that was, so we were able to be out in the community. We can't do what we normally do, which is the health fairs, because of, you know, protecting everybody, practicing social distancing. But we like, this is a creative way to give the information and give out supplies, give back to the community. And you know, we're happy that we're able to do that, and we're honored that we have people in the community that support us financially. They donate, and with that donations, we're able to do things. And we're planning for 2021. So hopefully, you know, things will change and we can get back to doing what we do best, which is serving the community.
And I'm so grateful and proud of you doing that. Now, let me tell you, on a personal, I had une personnelle expérience moi avec Anna organisation et m'ka dit nous m'a profité de ti conversation ça que n'a gagné pour me dire kudo à tout le monde Nurses Association, nan, tout membre ANA ou tout nurse, tout frontliners yo, qui font travail qui réellement que moun qui dehors gen doit pas connaître exactly involvement nous dans la vie, qui sacrifice que nous fait pour nous faire ça affaire. Travail là pour qu'on parle déjà son sacrifice. Being a member, active member of ANA, son deuxième job que lié.
It's a
Donc,
second job.
that moi j'ai personal experience, so I know. I'm talking from experience. Now, te demandons bagay, nous déjà connaît 8 heures de temps, 12 heures de temps de travail, gagne le 16 heures de temps de travail, il déjà prend en pile dans vie personnelle nous. Et from there pour président ANA Haitian American Nursing Association. From there pour ses members, board members, qui ont fait entre activité ça et avec vie personnelle. Si je pose une question personnelle ça.
Yeah, it is a commitment. It is a commitment that you take when you become a board member. I can be honest with you. I was asked to be HANA's president 4 years ago, and I said no because I wasn't ready. Personally, I wasn't ready. I had issues, personal issues. I was in school, getting my master's, and I wasn't ready. I said, I'll take a less position. I became second vice president, and from second vice president, I became first vice president. And then when in 2019, no, 2018, sorry, they're like, okay, you're next in line to be president. Are you ready? We're nominating you. I thought about it. I spoke with my family, my kids, and I'm like, I'm basically going to be unavailable for the next 2 years because, like you said, it is a commitment that you make. I'm fortunate that I was raised to give back. I was raised in a family that believe in giving back. Faire pour ça, pour moun qui pas faire and don't expect anything in return. And this is what HANA allows me to do. Not just because I'm the president, but being a member of HANA allow you to give back to those that cannot give for themselves or those that need it. Um, and I use that. I see that what I'm doing it for the community, for the greater good, and not just because I have a title. I've been a member of HANA for 11 years. So being president now is not something that, I just popped up 1 year later, I'm president. No, I've been in HANA. I've been involved in HANA for 11 years since '09. And I became active after the earthquake. I became very active and involved in HANA. So, yes, it has put a damper. I had to put some things on hold. I had to really look and said, okay, what can I put on hold? But yes, I do find time for myself. There's something that's called priority, and there's some certain things I have to evaluate and said, no, I don't think Hannah can be involved in this because I look at it and see the time that is going to take away. I have kids and I have a personal life. So there is a sense of placing priority and what's more important. There are days I have to say, I'm not going to be Hannah today. It's not about Hannah. I have to put things on hold for today or this week, and then I'll take up in order to deal with or make sure that I give time to those that are valuable and important in my life, because without them, there's no me. And if there's no me, I cannot be president of HANA. So it is a volunteer organization. I do not get paid. I'm getting paid and the blessings that I'm getting. Everyone, and you said it is everyone that's involved, especially when you're a board member, you're volunteering your time. We don't have a 9 to 5. There's no such thing. Emails can be flying at 2 o'clock in the morning, especially when there's something going on, when there's a crisis going on. And it's a commitment. You make the commitment and like right now, I'm counting the months. Election is February. And I passed the throne in April because that's usually the tradition. So, but that doesn't mean I won't be involved. Of course, I have to be involved because I have to continue what I started and to make sure the next president, the person that's coming after me, has the support that he or she needs in order to continue the legacy, because this is a legacy that is going to live on for many, 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 many years to come.
Well, I got to tell you that, I got to tell the people that are listening, that are watching this, to know that HANA is a real virus. It's a positive virus, don't get me wrong.
We call it the Kool-Aid. You come in, you drink the Kool-Aid, and you want more.
It is. And once you get involved, you can't stop. But now, not to put you on the spot, but I have to ask you, would you go for a second term?
What? I'm sorry. Is there something wrong with this mic?
Yeah, there's that. Yeah. Would you go for a second term?
Next question, please.
Yeah, we seem to have some audio issues.
There's some audio. Let me adjust these.
Well, Pauline, I can read in between the line, and again, being my personal experience, I know exactly where you're coming from. I want to thank you once again for taking the time today, and that's one of the responsibility or the personal engagement que l'on position ça qu'on met available pour te partager opinion avec information avec tout le monde qui a gagné. And again, c'est pas un 9 to 5 job. It's whenever you need it, you're there. Then that's a commitment that you guys sign up for since you take that oath being a nurse and a frontliner. And we really, really appreciate all you do, not only in the community, but also for the public in general, being a nurse. I want to thank you again for the time, Pauline.
Well, thank you for having me. It's an honor for me to be able to come and speak about, the issues of the community and also about the organization. Thank you for allowing me. And I want to say thank you to the community who's always supported HANA throughout the years. We are nothing. There's no HANA without the community, and there's no HANA without the members. So shout out to all the nurses. We are here for you. We're pushing for you. We're cheering for you. And this is the profession. Some people said, oh, you chose this profession. Yes, we chose this profession, but we didn't choose it at this capacity. And you guys are the true heroes. They say nurses are the backbone of healthcare. There's no healthcare without nurses. So I salute each and every one of you. And Team HANA, always.
Thank you, Pauline.
Thank you, Max. Thank you.
Pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Alors là, c'est une conversation que nous avons eue avec Madame Pauline Louis-Magiste, qui c'est non seulement un registered nurse, c'est un nurse educator, c'est-à-dire son professeur lié des nouveaux générations, la première et deuxième année nursing, l'a éduqué, mais aussi et surtout, c'est président Haitian American Nursing Association of Florida. À tout à l'heure.